Former President Jacob Zuma will apply to the Pietermaritzburg High Court for a stay of arrest. That is because the Constitutional Court will now hear his application in a week or so. So he will argue that he doesn't need to be arrested in the meantime. We're joined by spokesperson of the Department of Correctional Services, Singa Nxumalo. Mr. Nxumalo, what happens now as far as correctional services is concerned?
A very good evening, and thank you for the opportunity. It is important that we clarify what may confuse people. The Department of Correctional Services does not fetch people from home or from wherever they are to come and serve a sentence. They are brought to us either by themselves or by their legal representative or by the police. When they get to us, they then get admitted. That's when we take over. But for as long as a person has not been brought to us, unfortunately, we cannot go home and try to fetch that.
Okay, so this is up to the police to decide in the absence of full legal clarity. Is that what you're saying?
And the individual concerned, that person may decide to bring himself or his lawyers, or the police may bring that person to us.
So are you watching this? I mean, does it mean you're not expecting him until after the Constitutional Court, or are you just staying out of the legal implications here?
With us, correctional services, we cannot interfere in that particular space. Our job only starts once a person has been brought to us. That's when admission must take place. Hence, then we must always be ready for whoever that is brought to us, whether it's Jacob Zuma or whether it's someone with an elevated public profile. It doesn't really matter, because the system is designed to treat everyone the same way. So once a person has been brought to us, then that person will be processed. But at this stage, we are just spectators until such time that we are presented with anyone, either by today, tomorrow, or whenever. That person will then be processed, because what guides us is the warrant of detention, which then states that here you have Singabako, who's been sentenced to this number of years. Therefore, this person must be admitted to start serving a sentence.
Okay, and it doesn't give a date for handing himself over or for being brought to you by police. It's just an order from now, basically.
The order will have the dates and other details there, but then we must capture everything as that person is brought to us. That sentence will then start counting from when that person is admitted in our system. If, let's say, maybe it's 4 years, you'll only start counting once you are in our system. Okay. For as long as you are outside our system, that does not count.
Mr. Nxumalo, he is now apparently thinking of making an argument that he is elderly, that he has medical conditions, that this could be a death sentence. And there's been a lot of speculation about the circumstances under which a former president will be held. Does he get a special cell? Where will he be kept? What are you planning for him?
I will prefer that we apply our policies and procedures as per the regulation dictates, to say, each and every inmate is equal before the law. Therefore, we must treat people as equal. So whoever that is brought to us, that person will be admitted. What we then do within 6 hours is what we call an assessment, which is looking at the health risk, mental state of that person, the suicide risk, vulnerability, criminological assessment, and most importantly, security risk. So as a department, we need to run through that assessment, and out of that, to be in a position then to classify that particular person and then take that person to the next step as per our regulation.
Well, what do you consider? Is it likely because he is elderly, maybe because he's a former president, that he will be kept separate rather than in a large overcrowded cells? You're saying that will only be determined, but what is the usual outcome in a case like this?
Again, I would want to reiterate this. I will not talk about Mr. Jacob Zuma because he is not in our system, so he is not an inmate. But I would want to confine myself to say what happens when a person is brought to us for admission. Hence, then, I'm very specific in saying the system is designed to cater for all the risks that you identify, for all the elements that may be there, so that you're able to make a proper determination. Because it is not just about age of that particular person. You also need to look whether this person is vulnerable. You also have to look whether will it be safe and secure to keep this person in a communal cell or in a single cell. And also other elements such as health, such as the mental health status of that particular person, and also to cater for other needs. Hence, it's important that a person is assessed within 6 hours of admission, and you have different specialists doing that.
All right, thank you very much, spokesperson of the Department of Correctional Services, Singa Nxumalo. Let's take a look at some of your comments now about the latest developments. The Constitutional Court deciding to hear former President Jacob Zuma's application to have his sentence rescinded. Send us your comments. By the way, you can keep those coming to #FullView. Alani, this is the right thing to do so as to give Zuma a chance to speak for himself on the sentence he has been given. Wabs, Concord should not have entertained the application by Zondo Commission. She should have redirected the application to a lower court, since it seemed to be a criminal complaint which lower courts would have dealt with it adequately in case an appeal would be lodged. Dens, I think Concord did the right thing to accept his application, but I don't see him winning this battle, more especially because State Capture Commission also files application to oppose his application. Yes, the Constitutional Court has given a timeline now for the former president to put in his arguments in written form, as I understand, and then the Zondo Commission, which brought this application against him in the first place, also can argue about this new application from the former president. Shepherd means one simple thing: their emotions have cooled down. The judgment was emotional and driven by misdirected ego. Nico, they knew from the start that they were not going to arrest Zuma. Zuma is bigger than the ANC itself. All right, our constitutional law experts saying earlier this is just a normal course of events. Anybody can appeal, but of course you cannot appeal a constitutional court judgment. So it is Jacob Zuma's right to ask the court to rescind his sentence. Let's take a short break. Lots more to come on The Full View.